I tried to order an SSD in Serbia, but it didn't work out. In this video I'll share my experience with ordering hardware parts from the Ananas marketplace. The situation I described further has nothing to do with the market as a whole, and I'm not saying that the entire online commerce in Serbia is undeveloped, but there is certainly room for improvement. So I plan to buy a new SSD to increase storage space on my computer for my projects, games and the footage. I was looking for suitable, highly reliable 1TB models, and I chose the Crucial BX500. This popular model has proven itself over time and many users have been satisfied with its performance for many years. I use several online stores for my search: Gigatron, Technomania, Technomedia, Bazaar and Ananas. On most of these sites the price for this SSD was abnormal, more than 10k at dinars, so I chose Ananas as the most affordable option. I had used this marketplace before and ordered a laptop and a computer case. Regarding the PC case, I also had a negative experience which I described on my Patreon. In short, they delivered the wrong case and I had to wait a month to get my refund and another half a month to get the correct case. In general, I decided to give Ananas another chance and ordered the Crucial BX500 1TB for a reasonable price of 8,300 dinars. I chose cash on delivery as the payment method, but for some reason I received an email asking me to pay at the post office so that the order could then be delivered to me within 2 weeks. I went to the post office, paid 8k dinars and just waited. After a couple of days, without any explanation, my order was cancelled. I sent an email to Ananas support to find out the reason for the cancellation, and they told me that the item was out of stock. They also asked me to provide proof of payment, which I did, but I received no further response. 3 days later I sent another email to support explaining my situation, and they replied within a few hours that the refund would happen within 2 to 3 days to my account, which of course they couldn't possibly know. Since I don't have a resident bank account in dinars, they couldn't refund the money and asked me to provide any resident's bank account instead. But this was not a significant problem for me. After sending the card details, there was silence. Neither after the day, nor 2 nor 3 did I receive any response. While waiting for a response from support, I decided to order the SSD again as it was back on the site and at the same price. To my surprise, the next day I received another notification that my order has been cancelled. Interestingly, the BC Group website, the supplier of these components, listed a completely different price for this SSD. I wrote them an email asking why the price of their SSD differed on Ananas and the BC Group site. They replied that they have no clue and they don't work with the Ananas system. Incredible, I thought. By then more than a week had passed and of course I still didn't have my SSD. I decided to wait for a response and try to find an alternative model on other sites. You might tell me why not to go to an offline store like Gigatron and buy the SSD in person. I actually thought about it, but the price for this model is much higher than what Ananas offered. And I'm on a budget, so I can't just throw my money away for whatever I want. I save every single penny to find a good deal and I can't do anything about it. If I had a lot of extra money, I would have gone to any store and bought the fastest and the best SSD. After a few days of waiting, I returned to the Ananas and BC Group websites to check the same model I had ordered. To my surprise, the price for this SSD magically turned into 12,000 dinars. Amazing service to say the least. I ordered my SSD for 8k dinars and already paid for it, but instead of an apology in delivery they just cancelled my order and changed the price. Amazing survey and customer orientation. I don't know, maybe fate is protecting me, but by the time I get my SSD I won't need it anymore or I'll just die of old age. Because instead of working and doing my stuff, I have to deal with deaf mute support and look for SSD models on other sites, where there's even less choice and much higher prices. Another option was to order the SSD from the reputable German hardware website called Computer Universe. They offer many more models at a reasonable price. However, this plan also failed, as ordering from the site would have required me to pay an additional 30% customs tax. which ultimately brings the price to the same level as local marketplaces. With such ridiculous rules, it is easier for me to go to another country and buy an SSD there, but I'm not privileged enough with my passport to travel to Europe. It is not surprising that many Serbs go shopping, for example, in Hungary or Romania. Sorry, I just wanted to share my experience, and I think such treatment is unacceptable. Ananas had a chance to make things right, but they successfully ignore customer requests. I'm sure this is not a unique case, as many reviews on Google Maps confirm the poor quality of Ananas' work, and yet people get paid for this. In general, after 3 weeks I got my money back without any compensation or apology, and I still didn't get the SSD. You could say I was simply cheated. I spent a lot of my personal time and nerves. Ultimately, I ordered the same SSD, Crucial, with delivery from Hungary through my friends. It turned out to be much cheaper than what a local stores offered, and I received this SSD in just 1 week. I've learned my lesson not to deal with Ananas ever again, and never to pay in advance before delivery. Maybe it's not entirely Ananas' fault, since it's just a marketplace that works with both reputable and not so reputable suppliers or businesses. But Ananas themselves didn't rush to resolve my issue and ignored my emails for several days. Unfortunately, I don't speak Serbian very well, so I couldn't call their hotline and talk to them personally, but I don't think it would have sped up the refund process much. It's a shame that Serbia doesn't have a large selection of electronics and hardware parts, and many stores unjustifiably inflate prices. And this is happening in large cities like Novi Sad. I'm afraid to imagine the limited options in smaller cities that are less developed and far from the capital. But that's a story with a good ending. It just took plenty of my precious time to get one single SSD. Not just the entire computer, but a single SSD. Thank you for watching this video until the end, and don't forget to hit that like button and share your opinion in the comments. I'll try to record a few more videos about Serbia where I have more free time, and I will definitely make a video about how I got my residence permit, aka Boravec. I don't earn a single penny from this YouTube channel, so you could say I'm doing a charity work. I would appreciate if you subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching and listening. Have a nice day and stay safe.